Okay, so this video is going to be recorded for anybody who's rewatching this video on Instagram or YouTube. So today, the main thing that I'm going to talk about is doing the reverse lunge. One of the biggest things that it really inspired me to do this is because last week I shared a video on how one of my clients got really good results by doing a reverse lunge and perfecting that reverse lunge. Because when he was reverse lunging, his leg was coming out to the side when he was doing it, but by us accompanying him and then really changing that over time with some proper stretches and then proper activation exercises, we received really good results. And not only did his legs get bigger, but his butt got bigger, and then also that means more muscle. More muscle means more calories being burned. More calories being burned is you just burn body fat really fast. So once we're done with this, I'm gonna have you, if you guys are around, because I know how people coming in for a Q&A. We're gonna be doing this every Thursday. I'm gonna break this down from the reverse lunge. That's what we're gonna talk today. Next week, we wanna talk about the sets and the reps that you can do. And then after that, we can talk about more about the legs in general and how to grow your legs. So everything is like a little progress, but I wanna just keep us focused for the reverse lunge. So this video will be posted on Instagram and YouTube. Cool. So let's start out with the reverse lunge. So reverse lunge, primero, we're gonna talk about legs, right? So probably most of you guys are here is because you want to get nicer legs, see better results in the gym, or you probably see your favorite person and then you want legs or glutes as much as they have. You're wondering, how do I get legs or glutes like that? Or you don't know how to move, or you're unsure about your exercise form, or you just want to learn something new, especially for corrective exercises. So that's the really main goal for anybody here. So, having great legs looks great when you're having pants, shorts, a Speedo. Most of the people I work with are gay. So I love helping you guys and anybody who wants to achieve that desire. So let's talk about the reverse lunge. So reverse lunge is a really good exercise. To be honest, I used to hate this exercise a lot when I started because simply I wasn't really good at it. I hated it. I just sucked. I was like, I can just get better results with a squat or a hip thrust. But once I really put the time and I said, okay, fuck this, I'm gonna focus on this lunge. My legs started getting better, and then my glutes I noticed seeing a difference, and it gave me more variety at the gym to do leg workouts. So the reverse lunge is really good because it's a unilateral movement. If you don't know what a unilateral movement is, basically means it separates each leg. So you can work on the strength of each leg compared to a bilateral movement. So a bilateral movement, as all of you know, it's 2 feet. So it's twos, a deadlift, right? So with the reverse lunge, you can work on the strength of each leg at a time. So that's a really good benefit of that. The problem is that sometimes when you do the reverse lunge, people come in with, and I see it with a lot of clients, I used to work at the gym for about 3 years. I used to work at Equinox, and I had a lot of different range of clients from different lifestyles, from young to want to look good, to people who work in an office all day, to people who've never worked out in a while for years, and they want to get back onto it. So everybody comes in with a different profile. And so some of these things that people come in, I want to talk about, which is tight calves, a tight psoas, which is a very interesting muscle that I want to talk about. And then also bad knees, basically means very lack of stability in the knees. And so these 3 things can really affect how well your lower body moves. So if you don't address that, you can really hinder your progress because you're only going to go as far as that tightness that you have. So let's go. So I want to talk about that. So number 1, let's talk about the psoas, the most important one, which is the video that I showed for my client. So with that video, basically when he was lunging out this way. So when he would lunge, it will come out this way, and he was very unstable, like this. So what normally you want your feet hip width apart, and you want to just gonna lunge back. This looks really normal, but try it on yourself. If you notice that you just can't, and this tends to happen, that means that you have a tight psoas muscle. So what that means, the psoas is a really interesting muscle because it connects from your spine all the way down to your hips, into your legs, into your knee. And so it's a really a hard muscle to get to. If you want to look this up, it's a really interesting muscle because apparently a lot of emotions are also tied to your psoas, which is really inside of you. So I've noticed whenever I got in a massage, if you get a really good massage therapist to hit your psoas, it can really activate a lot of laughter, a lot of like just emotion. So it's just really interesting. And I noticed from clients that either like were overweight for a long time and then they want to get into a lifestyle, or people who probably were skinny, but they just had a lot of, this is a side note, but people who probably went through a lot of experiences in their lives and there wasn't a release in them emotionally or mentally or spiritually, whatever way, that muscle is tight. And I can just tell from the way they move because this muscle is just tight. So number one, in order to release a psoas muscle, you can get a massage, find a really good massage therapist, or you can get, I'm going to show you the next exercise, the next stretch. You can get one of these, these are, either you can get a lacrosse ball. Lacrosse ball is just as hard. It's really hard, but I like to do a yoga ball. So yoga ball are much softer, and you can use them for all different parts of your body. One of the things I like to do is I like to either like put it, you want to go 2 fingers to the right of your belly button and 2 fingers down. This is where you want to put the yoga ball. And what you want to do is you want to lay down on it and you're just going to relax. And it'll go down in there and you want to hold it for a minute. So I'm going to walk you through the protocol, okay? So let me just show you. This is a really good video for you to save and then just reference to. If you really do this for about 3 to 4 times a week, you're really going to see a big difference. So you want to put that ball right next to your belly button and just like, whoo, how do you feel it? So you can just like lay down and breathe and just stay in there. If you really just want to breathe, relax, if you notice your body starts relaxing more and just releasing any like clenching, and then just breathe out and just stay here for about a minute and a half. Once you're done with that, don't go to the other side. Stay on that side. That's when the muscles, what happens is when you get that muscle, those muscle spindle fibers, basically you're telling your nervous system to relax. Instead of clenching that knot, what it does, it relaxes. And those muscle fibers release. And you get like a 30 seconds to a minute to really stretch that muscle. So what we're gonna do now is you're gonna go half kneeling position like this, half kneeling, raise that right hand, stretching here, and then you're gonna turn over to the left if you're doing the right side. Just do this. This is what's gonna do, it's gonna help stretch that muscle. And the twisting is gonna give you that also more range of motion as well. Extra tip with this, whenever you're doing it, you wanna squeeze that glutes. So see what that does, stretches this even more, lengthen up to the sky, and then twist. Once you're done with that, you can go to the other side. Same thing, rest for a minute and a half, relax your body, and then it's gonna go and then do it on the other side. With this, it's really good for you to know. For any stretches that you do for your body, relaxing your calves or chest, you always want to stretch right. You want to foam roll and then stretch right away. That's the most effective way for you to really stretch. Not just stretching, not just foam rolling. You want to do them in combination together. Cool. So that's our psoas. That's how you release our psoas, and that's basically how I help my other clients. So that's number 1 for the psoas. Once that is released, we're not done yet. So once that is released, yes, you get more range of motion. Now the perfect corrective way is to activate that muscle. And the way that you would activate this is, write this down, okay? So if you have that same problem, like that same thing going on, it is not necessarily, sorry to use just my word choice, it's more of a, it's our it's a lifestyle. So like if you've been working if you've been working in front of a computer for years, or you've been studying in college for years, and this happens if you're a really good student, you were always sitting down, so, or you're always working in an office, and this gets tight, and then just lifestyle causes of that. So like I said, also the emotional stuff too. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is, once you stretch that, you want to put a foam roller, a block, or a chair in front of you. And all you're going to do is you're going to just reach forward, hinging from your hips, and then lifting up. Hinging from your hips, touching, and lifting up. So what this does is give you that stability in your knee, and also just helps activate the psoas as well as you're coming up. And it helps you also keep your hips squared as you're doing this exercise. So you want to do maybe 10 to 15 reps of this. Take a break, and then do it on the other side, and then come forward. Okay. With this, it's really important for you to be patient. If you want to have a really healthy lifestyle and just be fit overall for yourself, these little things make a huge difference for your longevity into just being fit. Remember that you don't want to be fit for like 6 months or a year. You want to go into most of your lifetime, because honestly, what does being fit mean? It really allows you to have the pleasures of life, in my opinion. The pleasures of life is like you can go hiking with your friends, you can dance for longer, you can wear the clothes that you want just because you actually just feel healthier. And with that comes confidence in yourself, confidence in your job, socially. It's all worth it. So doing these things are just going to help you with your body. And just know that everybody's different. Everybody is different. So not everybody moves the same. Even the people who look really fit, most people have some imbalances. So they might have like a type, like hip hike, or like a previous injury in their knee. So you don't see this, you don't know, but it's just something important for me to bring up. So in order for you to have patience in your process. So we just went over the inline lunge. So this muscle that can go really tight and preventing you from having good range of motion. If you don't have good range of motion, you can add weight. If you do add weight without fixing this, you're most likely to get hurt because you're not moving well and your body's kind of moving kind of janky and you're putting more weight. Once you do this, you're going to be able to have more range of motion, more muscles are activated, more muscle growth, and your body tends to sculpt itself in a much more holistic, integrated way, rather than looking buff and bulky. You don't look flexible. So it's really important to take care of yourself. That's number one into the inline lunge. Number two, let's talk about bad knees. So this idea of bad knees, normally it can mean so many different things. Bad knees can mean tight muscles around the knee. When people refer to bad knees, it can be two things from my experience. If I want to have to generalize it into very simple boxes, it will be stability. So it means those tendons surrounding the kneecap and all the muscles are they're not used to force, they're not used to stress, they're not used to working. So if you're just like twisting, or you're carrying something heavy, you'll easily get hurt. Or if you're doing a lot of Stairmaster, like you have such bad form that if you're just walking for like a long time up the stairs or weird, your knees get messed up because it's not really moving well. That's number one, knee stability. Next would be tightness around the knees. So usually when there's a problem with the knee, it's not the knee itself, it's usually the neighboring muscle. So you always want to look at the neighbor. So this is a really good tip that I can give you. Whenever you have a problem in your joints, here, in your knees, or maybe your hips, look around and the surrounding muscles. So using the knee, what are surrounding muscles? We'll look at the calf, we want to look at the quad, and also like psoas, and even the adductors. So you always want to release foam roll these muscles even the hamstring or even the calf. Same thing in, say, when you're talking about shoulder, biceps, lats, chest, even the shoulder itself, even the tricep itself. Once you release these muscles, you're gonna see much more range of motion, much more space, and in effect, less pain. So two things to like think about. So let's go back to the knees. So in order to like address the bad knee situation, let's foam roll. You would definitely want to foam roll your quad. So that's one thing you want to do. So let me just give you a quick tip on foam rolling, just like I did before. So the biggest thing is actually, the biggest culprit I noticed from a lot of clients is tight quads. So a lot of clients, they might do CrossFit or they might do lots of like leg pressing, but they don't take care of their quads, and that doesn't, or maybe they might do a lot of group classes, like a lot of Barry's boot camp, I don't know, F45, or a lot of cycling, and they're not taking care of this, and it affects this. So if you just grab a foam roller, what I will do, number one, grab a foam roller. Number two, you want to hold it here, okay? This is super important. This is one thing I learned also from working in Equinox. It's just, you know, they really pay a lot, invest in a lot of trainers in having the best education, so it's actually really good. So we want to hold it, and once you hold it here, you're going to hold it for about a minute or 45 seconds. And when you're done, you want to just bend the knee for more range of motion. And once you're done with that, right away, you want to focus on stretching the quad, okay? So one thing you can do is grab a chair, put your foot on there, hold it, and it's going to stretch the quad here as well. Cool. And what you can do is, if you engage that butt as well, it's going to give you that extra stretch in the quad. So you want to hold that, okay? That's going to allow you to create more space. You're going to do that on the other side. Next thing, so there's no activation that you need for these quads. What you can do once you get the range of motion, I recommend doing more dynamic stretches. So you can do the static stretches, and then when you want to do this dynamic one, so doing this is really going to activate the quad. If you were to choose an exercise that activates it, I would do this one. And once you do this, you probably want to warm up with some lightweight squats. And then from there, you can go into your heavier sets for your squats or whatever exercise you're going to do, like leg press or so forth. So we talked about that. So we talked about calves, inline lunge, and bad knees. Next up, we want to talk about the stability of those knees. So it's super important if you have trouble with that reverse lunge. What you want to do is we're going to work on the stability of the reverse of your knee. So what you want to do is this exercise that I showed you earlier is really good. Or you can also do standing in a Bosu ball, or simply standing on one leg, holding it. It's also really good. Practicing the reverse lunge without any weight is going to be really good for you. So just hold it here and then down. Really try to have that knee stability, but also this hip stability is really important. And actually core stability. So all these exercises really work on your body as a whole. So doing lots of planks is really helpful. Doing side planks is helpful. And this is really going to allow you to engage your entire body. Cool. So we went over calves, lunges. Oh, we haven't gone over calves. So let's go over calves really quickly. So with the calves, I love doing calves. I used to do calves for a long time. It really helped me release a lot of tightness. So calves are really important to work on because this allows you to have more range of motion with your ankle, okay? When this is tight, your ankle can't really stretch that well, and if you can't stretch, you can't really squat that low. So it's really important to get flexibility into this entire calf muscle. So what you want to do is you really want to grab this one. I prefer the one with the spikes if you have a higher pain tolerance. So all you do is you're going to put this on here and this, but there's this very specific way that I need you to foam roll. So it's not just going up and down. Yes, you can go up and down, find the most tender spot, But the most important thing is you want to hold it. Just like I mentioned before with the psoas stretch, you want to just hold it, breathe. And as you're here, you're going to notice that the muscle is going to help relax. And you're going to continue releasing. Once you do that, I like to get more range of motion with that muscle. So I like to twist the bottom ankle to get more greater pressure, more release in the muscle. Once you're done with that, that's when we want to stretch the calf right away. Same protocol with the psoas. So what you want to do is you want to either grab a towel or a rubber band, and you want to go up here and stretch. Okay. So stretch the calf, or if you don't have none of that, a really quick, easy calf exercise I like to do is I like to do a downward dog. So you're here, put the calves all the way down. And this is really going to stretch all of this down. So you're going to hold it here for 30 seconds. One of my favorite stretches. It really stretches your spine, your neck. You just turn around. It's a really good overall stretch for your body. Okay. And once you're done with that, you can, another stretch I like to do is just go against the wall. And you can just put your foot, your toes, and then stretch. But again, the biggest thing that I would like to give you, the biggest tip I would like to give you is you need to follow that protocol of foam rolling first, then stretching right after. So that's a protocol I want you to follow. Cool. So we talked about how to release your calves. We talked about how to release the psoas muscle for your lunge. And we talked about how to give yourself knee stability and releasing the muscles around the bad knees. So next, I want to talk to you about 2 ways to do the lunge to affect your quads or your butt. So this is kind of the juicy part. One, not intended. So 2 things, okay? So when we're doing the lunge, this is really important. Okay, so if you want to get really good results, once you already have that, simple things for the lunge, we want both feet here forward. You want super important, you want your toes this way. Biggest mistake I see people who are starting their exercise journey, they don't know, they want to know how to do a lunge. They might do this. And then if you do this and you try to bend the back knee, I can't because my leg is locked. So then I can't even bend. And if I do, I'm already like collapsing. So that's one big no-no. Another thing is like if you're too close, you can't. I'm already like falling apart, right? So what you want to do is the 90-degree angle. So toe on the floor, heels towards the floor. Back knee is just slightly bent. What's really going to happen is the back knee is going to go down towards the floor, and this leg is simply going to follow. So you're going to go down, bending it, and I'm pressing with the heel and up. As you do that, you're really going to see a difference. You're going to really feel in your butt already here. Cool. And as you go down, you're going to go down, you're going to have this quad as well activating, as you can tell. Okay. If you really want to focus on your glutes, the biggest thing you can do is we want to flex from your hips. You want to go slightly forward. When you do that, you're going to have more of a stretch in your butt. So you're going to go down here and then lift. So this is a really good way for you to really engage your glute better with that reverse lunge. Okay. If you want to affect more of your quad, you can bring your stance a little bit closer, and then you're going to go down here. You really feel more of an impact on this quad. Cool. So those are the 2 ways for you really to affect your glutes and your quads. One big tip that I can offer you is if you want to get more range of motion for that glute, this is called a deficit lunge. So if you're ever doing this and your knee is touching the back floor, what you can do is you can grab, if you're at home, you can grab a book, or you can grab a bench at the gym, or like a 45-pound dumbbell, 45-pound plate. Put your foot on an elevated platform. It's gonna allow you to have more range of motion. You're gonna go down, hinge forward, just like I mentioned, because it's gonna stretch your butt. And from here, you wanna go down, and you see more range of motion. I'm going down, it's already feeling burning. So see it, it gives you more range of motion from here. Press with the front foot, and then come up. Don't lock it completely, because you wanna maintain tension in that muscle. The more tension it has, the more you're gonna force it to grow or to work. So you're gonna go here. And this is a really good deficit lunge for your glutes. Cool. So you can try that without any weight. You're gonna feel a big difference already in your glutes. Cool. So yeah, I think that's it. So for this section, I just wanted to go over the reverse lunge, how to do it correctly, and how, if you really want to work on getting some strength and size, how to do it. I think next week I want to talk about how many sets, how many reps that we can do. From here, there's so much more you can play around with. You can focus on holding it for like 3 seconds. There's just so much to explain, but like, you can hold it for 3 seconds. There's eccentrics you can work on. There's drop sets, and all of these other methods. So it's complicated. So from there, we can talk about legs after that. And then after legs, we can talk about nutrition. So those are my biggest things. So if there are any questions, just let me know. After this, we'll do the things next week. And just so you know, if you ever want more extra help, we have a promotion for this month. You can always hit me up and I can tell you more details about that. But for now, I think that's all. So I know I have 2 people here. So in our live, if you guys have any questions, you can type it in the chat. If not, you can always just reach out to me. But we'll do this again next week.